Hi, I'm Lore. I am the guitar player for Worakls on this Worakls orchestra tour. We're today here in Luxembourg and I brought with me my magnificent M1 from BluGuitar. Yeah, so today is a really stressful day because one of our buses broke down in Belgium. So nothing is going as planned, but that's the magical side of the live music, I guess. And we're in Luxembourg. This is where I will be playing, obviously on this little thing here. And yeah, this is quite a small club, but everything is amazing. The backstage are amazing. People here are amazing. And I'm excited to hopefully play the show tonight. But yeah, we're on the way to an interview. My first interview as a musician, really. So.
Welcome back to the BluGuitar YouTube channel. It's Rich here, Thomas is elsewhere on business, and I am delighted to be at the Luxembourg Rock Hall with one of our newest endorsers and friends. It's Lore Jarocinksi. How you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you, and I'm so happy that you guys are here to finally meet up in real life. And yeah, we're going to play a nice show tonight, I guess.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, we're going to talk later about why you might not be playing a show later, but that's another interesting story. But for those of you who haven't yet heard of Lore, I'll tell you how I came to know her and how she's come to become part of the BluGuitar family. Now, you started your career as I know it on Instagram. Like a couple of years ago, we were searching through up-and-coming guitar players. We were looking for young and exciting people to play our amps, or to at least ask if they'd like to try our amps. And I think it was actually Lucas, the cameraman, who came across your profile and got in touch with you and said, hey, we make this amplifier called the Amp 1, would you like to play it? Yeah. And at that point, you would, I would say, doing more sort of rock and metal stuff. You were doing covers, you were doing vocals and piano as well, if I remember.
Kind of a little bit, but
just sort of finding your way on social media, so to speak. So how did it feel when suddenly, out of the blue, this random guy from a random guitar amp company wrote to you and said, hey, do you want to check out the Amp 1?
Well, it's kind of like you have this sort of imposter syndrome where you're like, why me? Like, I'm like, do I really deserve that? But it was really a surprise because he was like, hey, are you endorsed by any amp brands? And obviously I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready for that. I thought like he was just somebody like asking randomly, you know? And he was like, yeah, so we've got this amp. And I was like, wow, like, yeah, sure, I would love to try it out. And it feels really like flattering. It's kind of like you're stepping up. You're like, okay, now like I can start to do this like kind of professionally. But yeah, really, really flattered though.
Yeah, well, talking about starting to do it professionally, at that point you weren't a professional musician, right? You were trying to become one. So how did your career start, and where did you get the desire to become a professional musician?
So basically it started back when I was 7, when I got into music school and started playing the piano. From that point on, like I played with some bands in music school, and I realized that, wow, this is like, I don't know, it just brings me life, if that makes sense. And then there was really no other profession that I had in mind that I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be like always in the go and always doing what I love. And yeah, and then when I went to university, a friend of mine was playing the guitar and I was listening to a lot of rock and metal, and he was like, hey, you should try, and I tried, and it was like, wow, this is like, I can play literally what I'm hearing, like I can play the songs of my favorite bands. And this is where I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, those people inspire me so much, and I want to inspire other people as well to basically tell them that I know it's not like a common profession to become a musician. Like, people are like, yeah, it's not a job, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you can, if you're inspired and if you have something to bring to the people, do it. Like, there is no other words, just do it.
Yeah, and who were the people who influenced you and inspired you to want to do that?
Mainly Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless. First of all, they really taught me to have confidence in myself. When I was seeing Taylor Momsen, like the way she was dressing on stage and stuff, I was like, wow, like she dares. And this really inspired me to be like, yeah, I can be out there and be confident. And yeah, I was like, those are two amazing females. And, you know, it was still kind of the time where it was mostly like a male world, I would say. And yeah, they were kind of my role models. Also like being so badass with their guitars. And yeah, I was like, they're awesome. I want to be like that, basically.
Have you seen the most recent Lizzie Hale Explorer signature model?
It's awesome. I mean, all of her guitars, every time that one came out, I remember when the one like that was white and like kind of golden came out, I was like, I want this guitar. But at the same time, you know, as much as I love it, I'd rather wait and have my own signature guitar rather than buying somebody else's, as much as I love them. But yeah, they're all awesome. And the red one is with this Firebird head. Awesome.
You talk about like being inspired by people and being inspired by them as musicians and as women as well in this case. But what about the gear and stuff? I mean, for you, I pretty much always see you playing your Gibson Les Paul. You've got one guitar that you like to play. Normally you're playing an amp one. If I see you playing an amp, you don't have the world's biggest pedal board. And yeah, your pedal board's currently not here, but we blend some picks in so the guys can see it. Is gear a big thing for you as a guitar player?
Well, basically, I like to keep it simple. I think that, first of all, it comes from the way you're playing. It makes a huge difference in your sound. And I think if you have a good guitar, a good amp, unless you want to have like some special effects, of course, I think there is not much that you need really to add in order to have like a great tone. I think it just really comes from your attitude and the way you're playing. And yeah, I just like to keep it as simple as I can. Like I took off some stuff from my pedal board recently because I was like, yeah, that's cool, it's an option, but I don't need it. So yeah, to me, like really the basics, basically, amp, guitar, and you're good.
Yeah, and as Thomas Blug would say, tone is in the fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can take, I don't know, Slash and a beginner, put them on the same guitar, same amp, it will sound totally different.
So talking about Slash, if you guys are familiar with the BluGuitar sound finder, that's where we have a bunch of different artist sounds for amp one, and Laura's on there doing some Slash tones, for example, sharing her settings. Are there modern rock guitar players who you also resonate with in that way? Or some more classic guys like Slash? I mean, tell us about the other influences that you have.
Yeah, so in terms of tones and basically usage of the gear, I would say Slash is really my main inspiration. I love his tone, I love the way he sees music. And apart from that, I love also metalcore, so like bands like I Prevail, Bullet for My Valentine, that in the more modern side, that blends in with synth and this kind of music, yeah.
Yeah, and you're kind of, a rock and metal dyed-in-the-wool player, but to cut forward to 2022, you're on tour with Worakls, who are, I would say, an EDM project. They're an electronic project mostly. Is that correct?
Electro, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you end up getting the gig with this band?
So basically, I just received a message on social media again, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we have this project." I received a couple of them, so at first I didn't really click that much, and then I received email from the productions like explaining me what it's about, and I was like, wow, like that sounds cool. And I listened to the songs and I was like, yeah, like this is really something that I want to do, because sure, like most of you like see me as like playing rock and metal, but I also love techno and like some pop. I don't just listen to like those two genres. So yeah, it was definitely something huge. And also with an orchestra, it's a whole different dimension than just like a band, a normal band. But yeah, it was just, social media again.
Yeah. So what were the biggest challenges for you kind of coming up with musical parts to perfectly sort of sit within this totally different sound?
Well, I would say that for first, he's never had a guitar on any of his songs. So it was up to me to see where I could fit some stuff, and we worked together on that. But basically, I'm kind of the add-on that boosts the sound. So it's more about like giving some power. And I have like one or two songs where I really have a solo. Like we have one song called Porto, when it's really like a flamenco type of music. But yeah, like overall, it was like, where can I give the power to the songs, basically?
That's a really cool sort of project. It's like, here are these sort of electronic beats and songs and melodies, put a guitar over them. That's a really unique challenge, I would say. I don't know many other people who've got to do that. How was the creative process for you there? Like, and were there any other artists that you could use as inspiration for that? Or did you just let your own personal kind of tastes come to the fore?
No, mostly actually, like, I just dig in the song, and with Kevin, like, we worked, he was like, okay, maybe this, like, on these songs, and it was about, like, finding where I can, like, amplify the song. And yeah, no, mostly, like, I didn't take real inspiration, because, again, like, finding guitars in electro, apart from, like, maybe, like, trap metal or something like that, it's kind of difficult. But yeah, no, mostly just digging into the songs and be like, okay, where can I amplify what's already there?
Yeah, it's a really interesting challenge, because there are bands who are kind of mixing sort of beats with metal, like Enter Shikari or whatever, and even bands like Slipknot have a DJ and they have elements of it, but you're kind of a foreign instrument in this context completely. How has it been, do you think, for Kevin, for Worakls himself? Has it been a cool thing for him?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I think that if he decided, like, already to put a guitar, probably had a vision of something a bit different than what he's been doing. And I guess he really likes, like, yeah, the energy, the different energy, especially on stage, because, you know, even like from my style and stuff, we are all super different. So it adds some kind of dynamic. And, you know, I'm guessing that, I mean, I hope that he enjoys it. And, I mean, a lot of people told me that it was a cool add-on, that it gave some punch to the songs. So, yeah, I guess it's cool.
And you're still on the tour, so I'm sure he's happy with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk in, like, a few weeks, who knows?
No, but you've been on tour for a few weeks now already. You've done a bunch of venues, and Worakls is playing big venues, like the Zenith in Paris, multi-thousands of people, and that was a sellout. How has it been to be going from, you know, performing for Instagram, performing to your phone lens on your own in the room effectively, to performing in front of thousands of people on this internationally renowned tour?
I would say the best thing is the energy that the crowd gives you. It's like, I don't know if it's just Kevin's crowd, but they're all smiling all the time, and seeing those people smiling at you while you literally have worked so much to give them, like, the best, and I mean, hopefully the best, gives an insane energy, and you're like, this is what I've been working for basically all this time. And yeah, it's kind of like, wow, my work is paying off. And just overall making people happy and seeing their smiling faces, it just gives so much energy to keep on, like, working even harder. And yeah, it just makes me want to pursue professional career even more.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of high points on the road, but what about the low points? I know today has not been a particularly pleasant day for you guys.
Yeah, like, the thing is with touring, it's almost every day that you're going to have something new that's going wrong. It's not necessarily big things, but, you know, it's kind of like small stressful things that add up. Today was kind of, I would say, the highlight in terms of that. So we were going from Amsterdam to here in Luxembourg, and one of our buses with the technicians and a trailer with my gear, a lot of gear, broke down in Belgium with an engine failure. So yeah, we are just waiting for them to hopefully arrive to be able to hopefully play the show. And we're not going to know that until like 5 p.m. or something like that, although we were supposed to soundcheck at 3 and it was supposed to be a normal day. But yeah, I mean, that would be boring, right? Without all those things. Like, same on stage, you know, you have some stuff, like some small things going wrong pretty much all the time, but people don't hear it, but we know, you know. But honestly, like, it's adventure. It's fun of it.
What have been the positive highlights of the tour so far?
I mean, obviously, the venues being really, really full, it's insane. And the fact that in the band, everybody is, like, super nice to everybody. We're all very supportive. And, you know, there's not, like, one person that, I don't know, is, like, the person causing problems or, you know. So I would say, like, this is the biggest positive things that we could have, honestly, being super supportive to each other and being all here for each other.
Yeah. And there's more dates coming up. You guys are on tour till December 2022, I think, right? So we'll put some dates down in the description box so you guys can check them out if you're interested. If someone is watching this and they want to check out Worakls for the first time before they come, which songs would you recommend that they start with?
I would say you have, like, Pandemonium, that is one of my favorite personally. It's like a really punchy song. And Salzburg, that is, I think, the highlight. On the more like light side, you have Porto, that is also a really known song of his that I love to play. Yeah, that's, I would say, the three main ones, but just feel free to kind of explore. You have Sparkle also, that is the latest release, that is amazing. And come to the shows, that's the best way to discover songs.
Yeah, and the chance to get to see you perform for the first time. So there's that. Do it. But what about after the tour? What's coming up for you? I mean, you've obviously got plans.
Yeah, so basically, normally in summer we're gonna have some festivals. And then after that, I want to keep on writing my own stuff and really focus on also getting better technically. Because being on tour is like you don't really have time to actually practice that much. So yeah, really getting back on the hard work technically and on the writing, because I mean, I love to play somebody else's music, but I would also love to play my own at some point.
Yeah, so is your ultimate goal to be a solo artist in your own right, or to be part of a band or project? I mean, obviously you've just said you love playing with another band, but you want to get your own stuff out there. In what way would you like to do that?
Ideally, I would love to have my own band, yes, but not now, because I really want to focus on getting like stage experience before anything. So yeah, for the next like 2-3 years, I probably just want to join bands that are already established and just like focus on me getting better as a performer and as a musician on stage. And then afterwards, probably do my own project.
Yeah, and if there were any other bands out there, what would be your dream bands who would, slip into your Insta DMs and say, "Hey, do you want to join us on the road?" Who would you really want to play with?
I would say Hailstorm, because they've been my biggest influence, like from day one. And yeah, it's really people that I met them after a show and they're so nice, and just their music inspires me so much. So if they're watching that, hey, I'm free. Yeah, Hailstorm. And other than that, probably I would say Bullet for My Valentine. Love them, really love the energy. And yeah, that would be those two.
Could you see yourself incorporating some of the electronic styles from Worakls into your own music as well?
Absolutely. I love artists like Poppy. They're doing like really heavy electronic music mixed with rock and more metal sounds. It's something that I absolutely love. 9 Inch Nails, industrial, I also love it. So it definitely is something that I want to go towards too, rather than pure like classic rock. Yeah.
And is there any original music of yours out there that the guys can go and listen to at this point, or is it all still in your head and on Instagram?
Yeah, it's just on Logic Pro and in my head, yeah.
So any plans for releases, or is it still too early to to put it out there?
No, it's too early. It's right now. I would love by the end of 2023 at least one single. But yeah, I don't want to say too much right now.
But just talking a little bit more about that, like you are a multi-instrumentalist, you do play piano as well, you sing too. Would it be something you'd be looking to do all yourself, or would you be looking to bring in a series of band members?
So singing, I would actually love to, get better and take proper lessons, because I love to sing, but I don't have really a technical. But no, I would love to do it with a band with people that just know their jobs, because I mean, as much as I love to create everything myself, there are people that are great singers and like they meant to be singing on stage. So yeah, I would take band members with me, I think. Yeah.
This is always like the last question that I ask people in interviews normally. So if you were going to play one gig and you were going to be able to have like a half-hour set, you can pick the musicians who join you on stage. They could be living or dead. Who are you going to pick to play bass, drums, guitar, vocals, keys for you, and what songs are you going to play?
Okay, I would say, so for the lead guitar / for vocals, I would take Taylor Momsen. On the drums, I would take Travis Barker, because he's an insane energy. I never seen that. On the bass, probably Flea, because he's really fun. And who else? Rhythm guitar.
You can do that if you want.
Joe Hotinger.
Okay.
From Hailstorm. Yeah, that would be a sick-ass band.
That would be a pretty sweet and unique project.
Yeah. I mean, a blending of influences, like, you know, it's something that you need to create new things after all. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. This was Lore Jarocinksi, everybody. If you've not heard of her before, what are you doing? Go and check her out on Instagram, YouTube, and elsewhere. We'll put links in the description. Lore, thanks so much again for taking the time to speak to us. I know it's been a stressful day. Thanks for playing AMP1 as well. And we'll get some more picks and bids for you guys. And yeah, anything else you'd like to add at the very end, just to sign off?
That don't be scared to, like, okay, not don't be scared, but always work towards your goals and never ever give up, because honestly, like, how many times I was like, music is never gonna work, and, you know, before they contacted me, I was like, okay, I need to find something else to do, but no, at the end of the day, your work is gonna pay off, like, obviously. So just keep on grinding, and yeah, it's gonna work out.
Keep on grinding. There you go. I've been Rich for BluGuitar. Please give us a like or give us a subscribe. Help us grow the channel. Help us grow a bit more interest in Lore as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.